Haven't dropped one yet. Hi, Dave.
Hi, all right.
Monroe, how you
Hello,
doing?
Jim.
Good to have you all as guest on the show. How's the
Good to
cider
be here.
barn?
My daddy, in 1948, wanted a little building down here. The highway was 2-lane and it come into a 4-lane, and they set the property, the creek was right through here, and they moved it in the back, and then he said, I got enough room to build me a little building there. So he made his blocks one at a time. He could make one about every minute though. He had a little strap mold and a 2 4x4 set in it and tape it and just unstrap it, set it over and, you know, go down on the table. And so he built that little first room up there in 1948, and then he rented it. Well, in 1955, a guy came in here from Texas wanting to rent the building for an art studio. He wanted it for a sign shop, the building. He had a trailer, it was an art studio, and he lived here, and he said, now I need something for my wife, so he built that barrels out front out there in 1955, and built a little wooden building around the barrel. I kept the barrel, and he built, he opened up and started going to sell cider. So he went and bought cider, and she needed something to do. Well, it just took off, because this is the only place out through here like that. It took off, as Mr. Walker said, like a house afire, and so he hired me. She didn't want it. She didn't want it bad. She thought she did. So he paid me in 1955. I was just a young kid, 13-year-old. He gave me $1 a day, which was quite a bit of money back then. And now I was selling so much, he said, I'll give you, after $10, you get 10 cents on a dollar. And then I could really get into chips, see. And it was going so good, he said, well, we'll just start making it fresh. So he went and started getting trailer loads of apples, and we built another screened-in building. And I got a mill back there like we used it to grind a bushel at a time. We'd get maybe 100 bushel apples in a trailer. Big old trailer we had, and then maybe more. And then we'd take them, pour them in there, we'd grind a bushel of apples at a time. We started grinding our own, and on this mill, you know, they were cranked, but he put a motor on it and had a hydraulic press, and he had this man cut out, and he's smiling, his arm going around, and looked like he was cranking it. And people got that, just picked up more business. It just kept getting better and better and better, and that's the way we started. I named it Ciderville because we made Ciderville. I was watching Mr. Walker. I wasn't working for him then. I hadn't went to work for him. And I thought, boy, you need a band. That's why he's drawing all that business with music. Well, I couldn't hire a band, so I said, well, I just learned to pick. So I sat down and I learned to pick, and then when I did, that drawed musicians. Everybody wanted to pick with me. So they'd come in, we jammed every day and every night, and we'd play in here. We was the only place right in here. And we had a potbelly stove in there, and we served knick-knack stuff in the store. We opened up after he left in 58. I opened up in 58. And we just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we'd pick all day long. We had instruments. People, one bunch would come in, eat a sandwich or something, and we'd just sit down and pick, and they'd take off, and then here'd come another bunch, and hey, let's pick one. And I had the guitars hanging on the wall and banjos, and my dad said, son, you're playing all day long and way up in the night. He said, you can't pick everybody coming down the road, you know. And that's just the way we got started. And then we'd stay open to 9 and 10. We didn't have no certain hour clothes. We just, if Daddy said, well, if somebody bought a bunch of stuff, we made a sale off part of the stove back up. He'd throw in a few bucks of coal, and everybody would come through, because the interstate wasn't built. This was main drag. People like the governor stopped here, because he'd come through at night, and some place, oh, let's stop it. We'd be playing music where everybody went nuts over us. Flat top guitars is #1. It's always been #1. And I guess next right now would be probably, it'd be real close on banjos and mandolins. Electric guitars would probably be pretty much the same. Into 2001 or 2, we sold around 50 instruments a day. Wow. Now we're lucky to do 10. 5 a pretty good day. 10's a humongous day. Back in, if we'd done 10 instruments, we'd thought we was out of business. Because 25 was a low day and 50 was a good day. So anything from 25 to 50 was the way we sold them. We had to get them in here. UPS truck, I was talking to a driver a while back, he was at a show, and he said, I used to have to take the whole truck to Ciderville. I had to be there till when they opened and set the whole truck off, or I could go back and run my route. I ain't no room for nothing else. So I take my truck out there and empty it, and then come back and get my other stuff and run my route. He said, that's the way it was. He said, Ciderville put me running late at night because they got so much stuff. Randy Sparks and Back Porch Majority that's on the Apple Dumpling Gang, they come in. I still got the literature and stuff they give them. Don Gibson come in and drank cider. That was when he was getting out old lonesome me. Kenny Chesney's been here, Bill Carlisle. Then we built a music barn. I built a bunkhouse where they could stay. Entertainers would come stay all night. They say, is that anybody in the bunkhouse? I said, no, can I stay there? I got to go to North Carolina and I need to come here and stop. And then I started playing music. Of course, I played on the Opry and did a little bit of the Dukes of Hazzard music. And I started playing with Bonham and Buster as probably 28 states of syndicated TV. On Saturday, you had Porter Wagner, Wilburn Brothers, Bonham and Buster, which was Jim Walter's home show. And all this just kept adding together. And then, in 1976 was a bicentennial year. We had different businesses here at that time. This used to be a lawnmower shop and a repair shop, and the music store kept growing. Every time somebody moved out, I'd add on to it. But in 1976, the way we got the red and white building started, is a fellow just loved music, and he just followed us around like a puppy dog. Everywhere we played, we had a big limousine we traveled in. We had no bus, so we traveled in the limousine. And this guy'd go help us carry instruments in, set stuff up, because he just loved music. One day he come in and he said, boy, it'd be pretty if you had a red and white and blue building here. I said, yeah, I guess that'd be good. I always agreed with everybody. And he said, would you care if I painted red, white, and blue? And I thought, first thing I thought, what's it gonna cost me? And he said, before I could get that out, he said, it won't cost you anything, so I just want to paint it red. I want to do something for it. I want to be a part of it. And he said, let me paint it red, white, and blue. I just did a big thing at the Coliseum or somewhere, red, white, and blue. I got a lot of paint left over. And I said, well, whatever you want to do. And we were so busy back then, I couldn't even go outside. We get in here and start selling, customers coming in so fast. We opened at 9 back in, and he was here at 9 o'clock, and he said, I'll go ahead and paint the front of the building. I said, well, go ahead and whatever you want to do, I don't care. Well, about 2 hours later, wasn't over 3 hours, we hadn't had lunch yet. He was just standing inside the door with his arms folded, and I said, would you need me to get something for you? He said, no. I said, well, was you going to start painting? He said, no, I'm through. And I said, he said, I was just waiting you got through so you come out and look at it. And I thought, oh no, 3 hours. I walked outside and I liked to paint it. It was so nice, and even stripes. He didn't have the stars up. Where in another little building here on the corner was the art shop that guy had moved back in, the artist had, and we built him a little building on the very corner up there. He come running there and said, man, that's a pretty paint job. I said, you need stars on it though. So he went up and cut stars out and told that guy to paint stars, and that's how the stars got on. And on the bench and everything. We got pictures of Chet sitting there on that bench and that star, and all him and Bill Carlisle sitting there. And Chet had his picture made right there. His wife brought him a camera. It was his birthday. Kenny's been right in here picking Kenny Chesney. August 20th, 1966, we got our first show, and the way we filled it was while we were building it, we had some platforms and we played outside for free for about 4 or 5 weeks. And when we opened up, it was just half as big as it is now. It held about 142 people. And we sold it out, it was full. And we couldn't get them in there. And we saw that we weren't going to be able to hold them, so we had to run 2 shows. And after that, they said, don't do 2 shows, we're going to pay for both of them, just go on up on us. And we went up so we could cool some of them down so we could get them in there. That happened. And this year was 16, and it come on August the 20th again. It's 2016, it hit on the same day. Saturday was August the 20th, that's when we opened. And we opened it up full. And now, during, we had to go back to 2 shows in the 80s. It got so hot again, we rebuilt it. In 1980, built it bigger. We didn't turn it down. we built it bigger where it hold about 250 to 260 or something like that. And when we did, we still had to do 2 shows.
Tear up those grocery bills. Shop at the Sign of the Shears. Don't let anything stop you from shopping at a Cas Walker supermarket.
1998 is when we started putting this in here, this stuff. This chair, this is a chair he did his last show on. It was over at the theater because he did his last show just before he died over there. Probably, I think he went bedfast maybe 8-10 weeks before. After his last show, before he passed away, he got med, and he was 96, I believe. He died in 98, so he'd be 96 years old, was born in 1902. If you knew Mr. Walker like I did, if Mr. Walker thought you was a hoodlum, he'd say, you ain't no count. He didn't care a bit more to tell you what he thought about you, and he did take a cold drink of water. If he thought you was a hoodlum, he'd say, well, you ain't nothing but a deadbeat.
And we got some unkind words for you thieves. You that come in, we're going to have them whoop hell out of you and swear that you jumped on them. And anybody don't like that, anybody's invited to jump on me. I'm not afraid of any bastards.
Mr. Walker, that was a chair that he always sat in. And he would sit and down in front of the stage at break time and let everybody shake hands with him. Because he'd come around and shake hands, and then we got him singing a little bit of Pick Up the Morning Paper and Froggy Went A-Courtin', and we'd do sing-alongs with him because he enjoyed that. And he'd get up and try to dance a little bit with people, you know. I tried to make his last few remaining years the happiest of his life. And he loved it, and he took good care of me for it, and me and him become greater than business partners or anything. I've had a lot of people. I've played for presidents, I've played for the Queen, the Prince. I've played for people from the White House of 1 million people down to the opening of a telephone booth, probably. I've played all kinds of Grand Ole Opry, Info Valley. All the things I ever worked with, of all the things that everybody ever said to me, outside of my daddy, would be Cas Walker. I was in the office with him, and he was working out his estate. And they were trying to get somebody to be over it. And the lawyer said, you want me over your estate, don't you? And he said, no, I want him. He pointed at me. He said, that is the most honest man I ever met in my life.
Honey, you know we've been going together for now 5 years now, and I think it's getting high time I was popping the big question.
Oh, Freddie, I've been wanting you to ask me this for so long.
Do you buy your groceries at a Cas Walker supermarket?
Oh, you silly darling, you.
Cheap strings and a scroll. Since they talk about food, you know, when you get all the way to this year, I think chicken and milk.
That's right.
Here it is.
These guys are they're so much fun to be around because they're really professional musicians, yet they're very humble about it. And they'll say, oh yeah, I can play a few tunes, you know. And then you'll be playing something that's fairly difficult, and all of a sudden you realize they could just pick it up just like that. A song that took me a week to learn, they can pick it up, you know, while I'm playing it. And so it's just amazing to be around those kind of people. In the show they have, I mean, there's all kinds of music. I do like more folky stuff, and they have some of the more Appalachian songs. But it's just a fun group to be around because they like almost any kind of music, and they just have a good time. When I was a young kid, I had this guitar that was really a wall hanging, and I had kind of rebuilt it to make it so you could play it at all. But But when you go in and play with Ciderville Music, and if it's a guitar that they don't think suits you, they'll tell you. You know, there's a lot of places that, you know, you walk in, it's like they're just trying to sell you something before you leave. Those guys really want you to have something that is going to be good for you.
It was really something to see how everything changed. It was really something to see because, I mean, kids just went. I even talked to Fender, and Fender told me, Fender said, we took a survey and 90%, and this is 2 years ago, 90% of all the kids, they got instruments, stuck them on the bed and didn't even play them. But it was a sight, the ones, they didn't come in, Mom and Daddy, but they'd come in and say, Mama got me this for Christmas and I don't want it. I said, well, you better go back and tell your mother. You know, go back and see, maybe she'll take it, you know, like that. And I say, why? Well, I'm gonna go get some computer games and I don't get rid of this guitar. And Lord, these pawn shops got full of them things. They sell them dirt cheap. And then that pulled the music store down. There's so many things that, I mean, just count the ones here in Knoxville. I named 10 stores that went out of business. And some of them were real big. Broadway Sound went out of business and tore it down. They've got an auto parts place there, and they were at one time the biggest in the whole country around here. Hughley's. It's like Big and Grand quit. It just got to where you couldn't survive. Now, even if some of them even owned their buildings and they still didn't survive. I'm just about it. It's left.
Let's do a little Foggy Mountain breakdown.
Right now.